Hello everybody and welcome to Dear Jill. My name's Jill Halfpenny and most of you will know me from being on the telly. I'm an actress and now I'm doing a podcast which is all about you guys. I wanted to create a community and a space where people could call in and connect and we could listen to each other and we could spend a bit of time with each other, sharing our problems and hopefully helping each other feel less alone. I'm not a professional therapist, but I am a good listener and hopefully I will be able to help you in some way. So if you have a problem or a dilemma, I mean big or small, stupid, serious, whatever, it's all welcome here. There's no judgment whatsoever. Go to @Dear Jill Podcast on Instagram and leave us a voice note. And if you can, start it with Dear Jill and you might be on the show. Just before I jump in, I just wanted to explain maybe why I wanted to do this. And I've always been interested in sharing and being as honest and open as I can with people, as long as I feel safe, of course. And I wanted to create a community for all of us, a place where you could tell me what was on your mind and I could have a chance to feel connected to you as well. So that was how we came up with the idea of Dear Jill. It's just a way of us all being together and all trying to be as honest as we can with each other. And hopefully we'll laugh and we'll cry and we will find things out about each other and feel less alone. I really believe that when you share something and you share honestly, it generally does pay off. So welcome. It's so nice to have you here. And I am not alone. I am also with my producer, Emma.
Hello.
Hey, Emma. How are you doing?
This is happening. Hello. Yes.
It really is happening, isn't it? How are you feeling?
I'm feeling good. It's not about me, Jill. It's all about you. Because honestly, I'm so excited to hear what you have to say and hear your perspective on things, to be honest. I think I can learn a lot from you.
Well, same to you as well. I'll be looking forward to hearing what you've got to say as well. Do you want to know what's been on my mind?
Go on then.
So I read an article about a week ago about Lily Allen saying that she's been making quite a lot of money selling pictures of her feet. And she found out that she had good feet from a fan, apparently. This fan was like, you have really desirable feet. You could make a lot of money from this. And she talked about a website called WikiFeet. And I was like, that can't be a thing, can it? But, she was saying that, she was on there and she'd set up, I think it's an OnlyFans account and she'd been making good money. So I said, I'm going to check this out. So I type in WikiFeet and sure enough, there it is, completely legitimate site dedicated to feet. And I was like, wow, this is crazy. And then there's like a search bar at the top. So
to search different feet.
Well, obviously, you know what I'm going to do next, don't you?
Oh, Jill.
So I know it was a gamble. I have to say it was a massive gamble. So I type in Jill Halfpenny. Oh, my name comes up. Okay. So I press return and it comes up. 4.5 stars out of 5.
For your feet?
For my feet. Apparently, according to WikiFeet, I've got nice feet. I mean, it's not great, is it? Nice feet, but 4.5 stars out of 5. And I was like, Lily Allen's making good money. She's probably got 5 out of 5. I wonder what I could make from 4.5 out of 5. And then I thought, I need to just check some more people's feet. So I thought, who else can I look up that isn't weird? So I thought, I know my niece Chelsea. I'll see what happens there. So I type in Chelsea Halfpenny. She's only got 5 out of 5. Oh. Beautiful feet, it says. Chelsea has beautiful feet and I have nice feet.
So next time you see her, you're going to get the toesies out?
Oh, no, I text her. I was like, right, you've got beautiful feet, I've got nice feet. What's the deal? Send me a picture of your feet now. So she obviously did. She was laughing. And I'm looking at her feet and I'm like, well, I can't see much difference, but for some reason, you're half a star higher than me. So I don't know, like maybe I just need to get a pedicure. Maybe I just need to exfoliate a bit more. I just need to know how to up my rating so that I can make the big bucks on Wiki Feet. Or maybe me and Chelsea could double up and do like a halfpenny special. Do like
Whoa.
a 2-for-1 offer or something. I don't know.
Half penny special on the toesies. I'm not sure on that, Jill. I think we'll stick with the podcast,
Right,
to be honest.
okay, fair enough. I'll stick with the podcast. Right then, Emma, shall we go to our very first voice note?
Let's have it.
Hi Jill, Carl in Northumberland here, or should I say dear Jill. My dilemma is a friendship one. It's a money and friendship one. So I have this friend that comes around regularly. I always cook, I always make the food, provide the drinks. And recently they said, let's go out for a change. I'll take us out to McDonald's because we're very classy. My dilemma is ever since then, they keep saying, oh, it's your turn next time, which I don't mind, but I feel like I want to say, actually, it's been my turn for the last 2-3 years. Would you risk saying that as a friend, or would you just move on? Thank you in advance, and good luck with the podcast.
Oh, Carl. Thank you. Thank you for calling in. Thank you for your question. You got to ask. You've got to say. You've got to say, I'm sorry, but it's not my turn. It is not my turn. And then if they try to gaslight you in any way and say it is, I paid last time, you just show them the receipts, literally. You're like, mm-mm. When I was younger, I always disliked the person who, when you were in a big group and you went out drinking, was always the last person to get the round in, and thought that by the time it was, let's say there was 8 of you, by the time it was their turn, people had either gone home or they'd stopped drinking for a bit, or they were too drunk to even remember whose turn it was. It's like, get in there first, get your round in, like, be generous. I think generosity is completely circular. So, I have a friend who we always think it's our turn. So whenever we see each other, it's like, no, it's my turn. No, it's my turn. So that makes me feel really good, because I know that they're not trying to get one over on me in any way. So yeah, I say call this friend out. I don't care like what kind of meal it is or how expensive it is. It's a two-way street. Call them out.
Jill, I'm going to pull you on this one, right? We all have that mate that maybe, as you said, you get in a taxi. Oh, I'll pay for the taxi if you get me a drink when we're in there. And then that drink never comes, right?
Yeah.
But also, do you not feel like even that in itself damages the friendship group? Like, I have a mate that'll send me to the penny what they want. And it's like, come on, just round it up or down. Come on, there's no need for that.
Do you know what? I know what you're saying. It's just that I'm 49, and if I could go back to when I was in my 20s, I would try and correct these things with my friendships then than have to still be putting up with it now. So that's where I'm coming from. What I'm saying is, you're not going to be friends for much longer if you keep going out and every time this person's going to say it's your turn. I just think that will somehow, for Carl, spoil the friendship. And even if he goes, oh, it's fine, it doesn't matter, there'll be that little niggle, that little resentment. And then the next, or they'll do something one day and Carl will just really bite back. And they'll be like, whoa, what's that about? And he'll be like, all the dinners I've had to buy for you. That's what that's about.
There it is. Have your dinner.
Have your dinner. So yeah, I know what you're saying. And I do think there's always room for, is this worth it? Is it not? But I think when it comes to being equal in a friendship and paying your way, I do think that's very important. And I do think people remember when you don't do it. They think they've got away with it because you haven't mentioned it. But it's not. It's just you going, okay, well, that doesn't feel great.
It's reminded me to go and pay all the mates that I owe now.
Yeah, go on.
Oops. Should we have another voice note?
Yes, please.
Dear Jill, my name's Nicola. I'm messaging today just to air a situation, really. And my situation is, I reconnected with a friend recently that I was very fond of in my teens. Fast forward, we've had 20 years worth of stuff to catch up on, roughly. There's been a lot of contact. There's been a lot of the daily chats they almost become one of your people as such, that you're like, hello, how are you? How's your day going? You're finding out the next thing about them that you didn't know. You're discussing things like music, the normal the normal chit chat. And it's gone from that to sort of nothing. And my question is I feel like at this present moment in time, I feel bereft by it. I feel like I've had the wind taken out of me. For what reason, I can't explain. Almost like I'm grieving for somebody that's living, even though I know they're still there. I can't shift that feeling at the moment. It feels very heavy. And I'm normally really good at being able to do things that make yourself feel better. Yeah, I just wanted to air that, I guess.
My feeling always in life is to be as honest and direct as possible, because I feel like people don't say the things they want to say because they're scared to hear the answer. So what I would say to you was, you're already feeling terrible. You're already grieving this friendship. You feel bereft, like you said. What would be so bad in just reaching out and saying, hey, I feel like you've really backed off and that's like made me really sad. So can you just explain why? Is there something going on? Is there something I can help with? And you might get an honest answer. It's always a challenge. She might just say, I'm just not feeling it. And then you're going to feel rejected. She might say, actually, it became too intense for me. It was a bit too much. So can we be a bit more casual about it? Or she might not reply to you at all. But I always think that being direct and asking for the thing that you want is always less painful than staying in the what ifs. Staying in the, why would someone do that? What did I do something wrong? What did I say something last time we saw each other? Why? I just think the rumination of all those questions going around in your head all the time. For one, it's exhausting, but it's just not a nice way to live. So be brave, ask the question. If you don't get any reply, you have asked the question. And if you don't get a reply, then yeah, unfortunately, you're absolutely right. You do have to grieve it. You have to grieve something that you were starting to really enjoy again. That's now not in your life. And you will move on. And you will never know what's going on in this person's mind. And I really feel for you, because I know that friendships are so enriching and so important in our lives. And when you feel like someone's come back, it can feel like quite intoxicating, like the beginning of like a first love type relationship. But a good friendship always, I think, needs to have good communication. So you start that good communication and you see what you get back, and then you'll know how much of a friend they are. Thanks, Nicola.
Hey Jill, I've got a dilemma. My wife passed away last year after fighting cancer for 3 years. At that time, I decided that I was done. I weren't bothered about me anymore. I just needed to make sure my children and my grandson were okay. Earlier this year, I was sat down and having a bit of a think like you do. And I sort of realised when I was going through my children one by one that they're actually making okay progress. But that pointed the mirror back in my face, and it made me realise just how alone I am. Being an actual performer, I had to stop when my wife got sick, because obviously she was my world. She's way more important than anything I was doing. Knowing that there's certain parts of my life that are over and never coming back is really difficult. I've never been a depressive kind of person. I'm a people person, but when I'm with people, I don't want to be with them anymore. I just want to be on my own. Anyway, sorry about it. I hope I've not put you on a downer, Jill. I look forward to listening to your podcast. Yeah, you make me smile. Thanks, Petal.
Oh, John, I'm so sorry to hear about your wife. And I wish you'd given me her name as well, because I really want to say her name. I think it's really important to say the names of the people we've lost again and again and again. I think it's nice to make them live and breathe and be in our conversation. I totally hear what you're saying. I understand where you're coming from completely. I really do. When I lost my partner, it's funny, isn't it? People are so kind and they want to reach out and they want to be with you. But I think for a certain amount of time, and that is very dependent on how you approach things. I think being on your own and being in nature and stillness is really important. I think the rawness and the desperation of how you're feeling, and certainly how I felt, meant that wherever I was, I didn't quite feel right. It didn't matter if I was in, a room with my family or a room with friends. I just thought it's so isolating, grief, because what it makes you think is no one knows what I'm thinking. No one knows how I'm feeling. No one could possibly understand this. I don't think that's true. I think people can understand it. And what I would say to you was, take the time out to be on your own. Go for long, long walks. Have a really good cry. Put on the music that you and your partner used to listen to and just let it out. But also find someone in your life who you really trust and who can talk to you really openly and tell them how you're feeling. You only need one person. I had a person and she was wonderful. And I write about it a lot in my book, about how there's certain people who can get you through that really tricky, heavy, desperate stage of grief. And you will find yourself. You will, honestly. You will look back on this and you'll see how lost you felt, but you will get to a point where you start finding yourself again, but you have to let it out. You've probably been focusing on your kids and focusing on just like surviving and living. And now you need to go back inside and you need to think and you need to grieve and you need to just let all that love pour out and you'll start to feel better again. But, call back in a few months' time and let us know how you're doing. But until then, I'm sending you loads of love.
Jill, I'm really interested in hearing a little bit about your process through that and how you can give advice, because like other people, you relate.
Mm-hmm. I know it sounds weird to say just feel it, because people say, but how do I feel it? I just think that grief is really scary, and what a lot of us grievers do is we try and do anything we can to not feel the way we're feeling. It's so uncomfortable and so desolate and scary that you think, I've got to go out, I've got to do something, I've got to keep busy, or I can't look people in the eye. There's so many things you're trying not to do. And I think what you got to try and do is just allow it all to happen. And even if you're chatting to a workmate and you're in the middle of a conversation, you just say, I'm really sorry, but I think I'm going to burst into tears, or I'm having a horrible morning. I'm going to have to go for a walk. I'll see you in 5 minutes. Just be honest. Like, don't be afraid of the feelings. Don't push grief into a corner and make it a big bad monster. It's not trying to hurt you. It's honestly trying to help you. It's trying to teach you things. And you sort of have to treat it as a friend and say, right, come and sit here with me now and talk to me. What is it you want from me today? And that's what I started doing. I just started sort of almost having a conversation with grief and just saying, what do you want from me and what can I learn from you today? And it's comforting. It's comforting when you start to connect with it rather than run away from it.
Should we have a little break now for a caller?
Yeah, sure.
Hello, Jill.
Hello, how are you doing,
This is my
Caroline?
dilemma. Hello, Jill. How you going? I'm very well, thank you. Yourself?
I'm good. What's up?
So, it's a bit of a weird one, I think. What I enjoy doing at the moment, more than anything, is going on holiday. And currently, next year, I've got a booking on where I'm going to ride my Harley all the way from Newcastle to Casablanca in Morocco. Can't wait. I want to do more of that. However, work just gets in the way. And I just think, how can we do more of like the work, not the work things, like more of the holiday things and the fun things that we enjoy? Like when we also have to work a full-time job, keep down a house, like do all of these things. And then wait for it to retire when we're too old or have the ability to do these things. So it's like, how do we get that work-life balance? When can I retire? In the middle for 5 or 6 years? And then add that on at the end? That would be great. Instead of waiting until you're like 60, 70 years old, and then you're having to like go do these things then, and you're tired and you've got other responsibilities by that point. So it's, how do I enjoy my life right now, doing all the things I want to do, while I've still got to work, is basically my dilemma.
So where do you work?
I work for a local authority.
And have you had this conversation with them?
Not so much, but they are always commenting how often I am on holiday.
I think there's two ways to look at this, right? You either go to your employers and you say to them, I would like every year or every 2 years to take some sort of sabbatical, because that's what I'm passionate about. And I really believe that as an employee, when I come back to you, I'm even better than I was before. You can see my results. You can see how hard I work. Hopefully you'll be able to back that up with your results at work. And if they say yes, brilliant. You can make a trip every single year and have something to look forward to. If they say no and it's not a problem, but like you say, you can only do it on the holidays you're given. I suppose the other way to look at it is that I think life is very much about balance and light and shade. And I'm not saying that you wouldn't like more holidays, but what I am saying is, if life was one big holiday, and by the way, the one you're about to do sounds absolutely amazing, then the reason why we like to go away is because we like to leave something behind that isn't always the most enjoyable thing. We like to feel like we're getting away from something, having an adventure. And I suppose what I'm trying to say is, if life was just always like that, then possibly it wouldn't be quite as exciting. But I think the first option is the one that you want to go for first, and say to your employee, I'm an adventurer at heart. And if you could work out for me a way to be able to take, I don't know, what would be realistic, like 6 to 8 weeks a year, or do you want more?
No, I think that would do, because by the time you have like the 2 week on the holiday, and then you've got your beta closing parties, then you've got the weekends away. Like, I mean, I'm not saying it's forever, Jill. I'm just saying until I can't do it anymore, and then I'll retire.
I think 6 to 8 weeks per year is absolutely doable from any employer that values you and can see your work. I think you can make that work. I think if you can get on a Harley and ride around the world, then you can sit in front of your employer and say, this is what I want. And you know that when I come back, I will be an even harder, even better employee for you. What do you reckon? Do you reckon you'll be able to do it?
Do you know, 100%. I think that's brilliant advice, Jill.
Excellent.
Yes.
Thank you for calling
so much
in.
for that.
Cheers.
No, you're very, very welcome. You take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Perfect. Really good. I want to be on the back.
I know.
That's good.
That sounds really cool, doesn't it? It does. It sounds really cool. That sometimes when you think, when you're like self-employed and you work in a creative industry, there is a feeling of like, you think you're going to miss out when you go on holiday. And I think I've always thought that about having like more of a regular job. I've always thought, it would be really nice to like know exactly when you were going on holiday and be able to really look forward to it and do all your research on it and buy all your clothes. Because usually when I go on holiday, it's very last minute. And I haven't really been able to like get myself in gear for it. So anyway, I hope it works out for her.
I'll tell you one thing that I sort of maybe fear is that thing that Caroline said of getting old and not being able to do all the things I've wanted to do.
Yeah, that's definitely a thing, isn't it? We should never wait until we retire to do the things we want to do. That's a crazy notion. Yeah.
Get the rocket right where you need it.
Get your bike now, Emma.
Cool.
Thank you so much to everybody that left a voice note and called in today. It's not an exaggeration to say that I do feel really grateful and privileged that you can trust me with your thoughts and your feelings. I know I'm not a professional in any way, but I hope that I'm a safe space and a good listener and somebody that can make you feel less alone. It takes a huge amount of courage to be the person that you really are. So stay brave, stay open, stay real. If you've got a dilemma or a problem, then please get in touch with us on the @DearJill Podcast Instagram page. Leave us a voice note and you might be on the show. And if we did answer one of your dilemmas today, then please call us back, because we really want to know how you're going to get on. Thank you so much, guys, and see you next week.